Okay, sorry. So let me clear my screen again. PWD. This is where I am. There's a few ways you can do this. The first way you can do it is by typing in cd. Well, before I tell you, let's have a look again at the contents of this file, of this directory. Sorry, ls. Every directory has contents that you can see in ls, and then it has some hidden contents or things that you can't see. And you can list these hidden contents using ls minus a. A stands for all, which means show me everything in this directory, even the hidden files and folders. And you see that we only have two things that are hidden here. What are they? Yes?
There's the single dot, the double dots.
There's a dot and dot dot. That's the only difference between ls and ls minus a, right? These are the hidden contents, dot and dot dot. And they both have special meaning. Well, first of all, I claim that these are both directories. How can you verify that?
There is no .txt or dot something after that.
That's a good guess, but it's not entirely true because I also claim that goostats is not a directory, it's a file. And we'll talk about file extensions a little bit later. But I claim that dot and dot dot are directories, and I want you to verify that. How will you do it? Yes?
Do ls -a
-a-f. Excellent. So you see that you can combine switches together in this way. You don't have to provide a single switch to ls. You can provide multiple switches, and Unix is smart enough to combine them in an intelligent way. And you see that you have a trailing slash at the end of all the directories, and so dot and dot dot are these directories. Okay, if they're directories, it means that I can technically cd into them, right? So let me cd into dot and see what happens. Right now I'm here. If I cd into dot and type in pwd, have I actually changed directories into anything? No? So what do you think dot refers to?
Current folder.
Yeah, dot just refers to the folder you're in. And that might seem useless, but it actually is very useful. And we'll see how later. So you know that dot refers to your current directory. What do you think dot dot refers to?
Previous directory.
Dot dot refers to the parent directory. This might be a little confusing if this is the first time you're starting out, but every directory has only a single parent in the file system. And no matter where you are, you will very easily be able to trace what your parent directory is. So if you started out in this directory, data HPC, not specific jar, 2012-0703, and you said cd dot dot, it would take you one directory up. And that's just the not specific jar directory. Does this make sense? Okay. And now from here, from the not specific jar directory, I want to, in a single command, go up to my home directory. Can someone guide me? Not you.
Trying to go to this.
Yeah, I want to go to the home directory in a single command.
CD.
All right, cd. Anyone? Home, okay. Will that take me to the home directory? It actually won't.
CD with nothing else.
Well, cd with nothing else will work. Okay, so let's talk about. Let's talk about relative paths and absolute paths. You see, my home directory is called /home /my username, right? And let's say I want to go into that directory. You might expect that cd my username will take you there, right? But that doesn't work. And why does that not work?
It's not in the folder.
Well, you see, it's not in this current directory. These are the contents of this directory. And when I type in cd my username, it looks in this directory for a directory called my username, and it doesn't find it. So you see that these paths don't make sense because they're relative to our current location. Right? It depends on where you are. If it makes sense from where you are, it will take you to that location without a problem. But you can actually provide something called an absolute path, which is just the absolute location or address of a directory. And absolute paths always begin with the slash character. So, which means that when you provide an absolute path, you're starting from the slash location. Which means you have to provide the full path to a directory if you want to refer to its absolute address. And that's a mouthful, but here's how I can go into my home directory. If I start from slash, that will take me to my home directory, no matter where I start from. So it's useful to think of the file system being organized in a certain way. And let me see if I have. You can think of the file system as beginning with slash. Right? Slash is actually a directory that sits on top of the file system. Within slash, there are directories. Most notably, there's the home directory. And there are some other directories like user, bin, and several others. The home directory sits below slash, and below home directories there sit a lot of directories, right? And all of you actually have a directory here. I've got mine, and all of you have your own directories under home. And then within your home directories you have a bunch of contacts, right? So if let's say I've got here data HPC. Right. So you see that if I was sitting in my home directory here, and I said cd data HPC, would that work? Yeah, that would work because it would look in my home directory for a directory called data HPC. It would find it and it would cd into it. Okay, let's say I wasn't there. Let's say I was sitting in the home directory instead, and from there I said cd data HPC. Would that work? It might if there's someone called data HPC, which you never know. But it probably won't work because data HPC is not under the home directory; it's actually under my user. But if I from the home directory, if I said cd /home / my username / data HPC. Would that work? Right? So if I said cd /home / my username / data HPC. And I was sitting in the home directory, remember? Would that work? How would that work? I'm in the home directory and I'm starting with slash. But there is no slash, right? There's no slash under the home directory. So you would expect it not to work. But it actually does. It does because every directory that sits on the Unix file system agrees on only one thing. They all agree on where slash is, right? So if an address or a location or a path begins with the slash character and it's a correct path, cd will work no matter what. So there are relative paths like just data HPC, and there are absolute paths like /home /username /data HPC, and they might in some cases refer to the same thing, but only the absolute path will work no matter where you are in the file system. A relative path would depend on where you are. That's why it's relative. Okay, so it's really important for you guys to be able to differentiate between what an absolute path is and what a relative path is. Okay? Sorry. I can see here. Oh wow.